Alright, here we go. This is fiberglass door panels that we're making for Projectstepitup, 1958 Chevy Apache truck. I've always loved the ribs in these door panels. I love the metal interior for the most part, but there's certain things that I wanted to be covered in leather. So I wanted to maintain these ribs, but there's three things that I did not like about these doors. One of them is these two holes right here. Those are the holes that hold the vent windows in place. And so I put some plugs in there before laying down the fiberglass to cover those up. That way my fiberglass lays flat across those and doesn't want to dip into the holes. So what we're going to do later on those is the vent windows, we're still running a vent window, so we're still going to use that location. But what we're going to do is use one of our dimple dies to recess the sheet metal in that area so that the screw that holds the vent window in place will be flush underneath the door panel and won't obstruct the door panel. Okay, that's number one. Number two is this lower hinge plate has always been kind of an eyesore. So you can see the yellow tape underneath. That's where we just kind of mocked it up with tape to bridge over that hole. There's a hole under there that is access for the lower door hinge, and originally they had a metal plate that screwed onto there with three or four screws, and I just never really liked that. So doing the fiberglass, it allows us to sort of bridge the gap there and continue those body lines all the way across. And that way we don't even need that little sheet metal door anymore. The new door panel will serve as the cover. That's number two. Number three is up in this area here. So the original bolt-on door panel was straight across here and had a straight line going all the way across here off the edge. Well, I love that sheet metal door panel, but I hate how it doesn't flow into the dash. The dash is up here, so the dash wraps around and comes into here. So what we've done is created a new design feature, a new line where the door panel will flow down like this, following the edge of that consistently, and then wrapping around and following the bottom consistently and turning back into the original line. So this leather, the fiberglass panel will get covered in leather from here all the way up and even up into here. So and then the dash will wrap around. It will be painted, and this part of the door panel will be painted. This part will be covered in vintage cloth, and this part will be distressed leather. So when you're looking inside the truck, this leather from the door panel will now flow into the leather on the kick panels, and the paint will flow from the dash into the paint on the door panels, and then the vintage fabric will break it up in the middle. So this allows me to have the best of all three scenarios. It gets rid of three eyesores that I couldn't stand, and allows me to maintain the ribs. And the reason I didn't make this out of metal is because the fiberglass, I want to keep that door panel as thin as possible. I probably could have made this out of aluminum, but it would have been so hard to fit all of those ribs as snug as the fiberglass can get. I mean, the fiberglass is as snug as it gets. This thing will fit and locate itself every time it goes on. Now the next trick is, how do you attach this? Well, I've got 4 layers of fiberglass, and then also I'm using the West Systems epoxy resin. So I've got it saturated very good. It's already kind of kicking and setting up right now. So I've been hearing of a lot of people using neodymium or rare earth magnets to attach door panels. And this fiberglass, even though it's 4 layers thick, is still going to be fairly flimsy. And I don't want to really have to drill holes in this and put clips in it somehow, because then you have to have some kind of a little bump or a knot and then foam the whole thing. I don't really want to foam this whole thing. If I do foam it, I want to keep the foam like really super thin. So here's what I've come up with, and it utilizes one of our new products that we've got coming out, one of our dimple dies. So we're going to use neodymium or rare earth magnets, and we're going to glue them using some panel bond to the back side of this fiberglass after it dries. But before we do that, we're going to locate where we want our magnets, and we're using fairly small ones, so we can put one here, one here, one here, and one here. And what we'll do is use our flat recessed dimple dies, which those are getting ready to come out real soon, guys. And we're going to recess the original door about 1/8 of an inch, and then we'll bolt a neodymium magnet to the back side of the door skin. We'll have to reach in through here, bolt it in from the back, and the bolt that holds that magnet on will be flush. And then we're going to stick a really thin magnet, the same diameter, to those magnets all the way around, and then we're going to panel bond the second magnet to the back of the door panel. So that way we've got magnet on magnet instead of just magnet on steel. We've got magnet on magnet, and they're recessed just enough so that by the time the leather wraps around, the magnets will still be contacting each other, and the leather won't be holding them up at all. So I know that's a lot to take in. I'm going to try and reiterate this several times on social media. Maybe as we actually do this, we'll make a video of how we're doing it. But anyways, that's the plan. I think it's going to work. I just ordered a bunch of magnets, and keep watching, guys. This is going to be pretty cool. If you guys want to come see Projectstepitup, we're going to be at C10's in the Park September 15th in Waxahachie, Texas. And then, Lord willing, our plan is to have it at SEMA 2019, not 2018, but 2019. So we got some exciting things going on. This is one of them. We want to try and take this truck to some shows, so all the pieces are starting to come together. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. If you'd like to see some of our products, check them out at hammerfab.com, and we are on Instagram at hammerfab. Thank you.